Hi friends, it is broth week in my house and I thought, what the heck? I'll go live and go through my process with broth. I have a week every 4 to 6 weeks where I make broth straight that entire time because I go through 16 ounces of raw broth a day. It's one of the primary sources of protein that I consume. And as somebody with a compression syndrome, my MALS, median arcuate ligament syndrome, it is challenging for me to, one, get enough calories in the day, and two, to get protein. I drink all of my protein and I want to vary those protein sources as much as I can. And it's very difficult for me to get all of the micronutrients that I need from my food because I can't eat raw vegetables, and it gets really pricey to buy microgreens that I add to drinks and things like that. Please let me know if my audio is not coming through because my mic didn't charge all the way, so a little wonky with my mic today, but I'm going to go on anyways. And for those of you who aren't familiar with MALS and with compression syndromes, what's happening is I have a ligament that is pressing against my celiac artery that is restricting blood flow to all of my lower organs, including my intestines. Kind of a big deal. Even though I have actually seen a GI doctor who looked me in the eyes and told me he didn't see how my blood flow had anything to do with my GI system. It was a whole thing. But thankfully I've gotten a referral to my original GI doctor and we're doing much better. So we're on that road. But if it ever gets to a point where I can't process any more food, that's where we get into the really bad stuff with MALS, where you need a feeding tube and things get interesting. And with all of my high volume of cardio, my Ironman training right now, I have to be religious about getting my nutrients, about getting my protein, and making sure my calories stay high enough that I don't become a Skeletor. So when I make broth, I freeze it in batches, and I get these silicone trays. They're freaking amazing. They're called super cubes, like play on words, S-O-U-P-E-R, cubes. I get them on Amazon. I think it's $30 for a set of 2. And they're amazing. And I'm gonna show you how they work because I've been making broth already for a couple of days. And so I'm already in my zone with my broth. But you'll see, I'm able to just open these trays up, and I'm gonna angle this down so you can see a little better. And I'm able to literally just pop these suckers out, which is so awesome. And then I can just stick 8 servings into a Ziploc bag. And what's really nice is that once they're in the Ziploc bag, I can really nicely just stack them in my freezer, one on top of the other, and I can have shelves that are just full of broth, and it's awesome. Toss that in my freezer for now. And I want you to look at, this is a batch that I stuck in the fridge last night, and you see how it has this layer of solidified fat here at the top. That's how you know it's a really good batch, because you want to have that. That's how you know that you had a good amount of marrow in your bones, and you've got a lot of nutrients in this batch. So what I'm gonna do, I let this sit in the fridge overnight because it takes that long for you to get that solidified fat at the top. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use like a strainer here, and I'm gonna sift that stuff out because I really don't wanna consume the fat. You can, but I certainly prefer not to. I like to enjoy my fat from other sources like peanut butter. I'm a bit of a peanut butter addict. And then I'm gonna show you too, once we get through this, I'll show you how I prepare my next batch. And I keep this process just kind of going. And I bulk prep so I can keep this going all week long without having to wash vegetables and cook more bones in between. Hey, Aya, yes? Can you please go get me one of my bags of vegetables?
Why?
Now, please, because I'm gonna start another batch of broth. Thank you.
All right.
Now, please. Okay. Now, from here, I'm gonna have my silicone trays. I'm gonna use a beaker, and I'm gonna swap this. going to fill my beaker. And I'm just gonna add that. And these silicone trays are nice because they have both, they have lines for half cup servings and they have lines for full cup servings. I always do full cup, but you could do less if you wanted, especially if you're doing chilies and soups. These things are amazing for all of that. Yes, I actually do both, Melissa. I mostly drink my broth, but I use it in chilies and soups too. And seriously, it is amazing. Once you've made soup and chili from fresh broth, I guarantee you will never make broth or make soup or chili using broth out of a box ever again. The flavor is so much richer and bolder, and it is just amazing. And for me, I have to get, like I said, I have to get all of my protein from liquids right now because of the medical conditions that I have. And so I literally, like, this is broth in this cup right here. I do a cup of raw broth, a cup of water. I warm it up for 2 minutes because it's been in the fridge or in the freezer. It's cold. And then I add some collagen powder to it. And I just drink it. And it's delicious. I add a lot of vegetables and garlic and other things to my broth, which I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. And so it makes it very, very flavorful. I'm going to finish putting all of this. Oh, yep. So my kiddos just brought, here guys, say hi.
Hi.
This is one of my bags of prepped broth veggies, and I do it in bulk. I'll have to get a video of that another time. But that way they're ready to just dump. And I make upwards of 10, 12 frozen bags of veggies at a time so that I can literally, hey guys, go. I can literally make broth for a week straight, and it's quick. Like, this is my whole process from start to finish each day as I'm making broth.
How long is
And as you have questions, keep them coming, because no worries. I've been doing this for years.
Hi.
And it keeps my protein high enough. Because when I do my cup of protein, my cup of broth, water, collagen, I'm able to get about 20 grams of protein per mug that I drink, which for me is very important. I'm lifting, I am running, I am biking, so very high volumes of cardio. I mean, we're talking 8 to 9 hours of cardio a week, which means lots of calories burned, and I've got to keep my calories high enough to support that. Otherwise, I'm going to end up in a feeding tube. But I also can't process complex foods. I can't even eat raw vegetables. It's too much on my system. It doesn't break it down. So this way I can get all of my micronutrients, and my health and my muscles aren't going to suffer and get cannibalized by my body. Okay. So this will go in the freezer, these silicone trays, and then this I'll drink tomorrow, and we'll be good to go. So I am now going to just rinse this out. Okay. And I'm going to grab my strainer.
What's a strainer?
This is my strainer, and this is...
That's a strainer.
Yeah, baby. And this is my fresh batch of cooked broth. It just finished. I took it off just a little while ago. And so you can see all the veggies that I put in. I've got onions and celery and carrots, red onion. I put in kale. I also put in parsley. I put in leeks when I can afford them. They've been honestly too expensive lately, so I haven't been doing leeks. I'm gonna move my camera. I'm gonna make you guys dizzy. I'm sorry. Okay. But I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay.
How long is your video?
My video? Oh, just a few minutes. Not very long. Okay. Here we go.
My name's Ian. Let's
So,
do it.
I've got my trash can all set up, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to start dumping my broth through the strainer. And as I do that, I am going to press as much of the liquid out of these vegetables as I can.
Vegetable, yummy.
Ah, goodness. One of these days, I'll get better at operating videos.
Will you get more cooking?
Yeah, buddy. So I'm just gonna squeeze as much of the juice out as I can. Ian, go play, buddy. Okay, and as I squeeze it out, I'm gonna dump the rest of the remnants of those veggies into the trash can. And I'm just gonna keep doing that until I get through everything that's in here, which doesn't take very long. And
there's a bone in there.
yeah, buddy. And the bones, I'm gonna pull out because I'm going to use them again. So I'm just gonna stick them on a plate and I'll go ahead and pull bones out of here as I can.
Careful.
Yeah, we're gonna be careful.
Careful.
And I try each batch because you can cook these bones literally until they disintegrate. That's usually a question I get. You can just reuse them. I've been sourcing bones from a butcher shop in Harrington, Kansas. I like to get them from a butcher who knows where their bones come from. I'm not too picky about like all organic grass-fed. I try to find that, but I have found as we move that can get kind of tricky and pricey. I had to shop around quite a bit. I started getting bones from one processing plant or company when we first moved here, and they quadrupled their prices on me over a span of 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, well, that's not gonna work. And thankfully I found another shop out of Harrington, and we've been in business and doing fine ever since. I get about 20 pounds worth of bones at a time, and that's usually enough to hold me over for a few months at a time.
We've been cooking
Ow.
in the house.
Usually wait a little bit longer before I do this, but
Mom, how long have we been cooped up in the house?
cooped up in the house
Yeah.
because of the heat.
Mm-hmm.
About a week, buddy.
We've been cooped up in
Because
the
goodness,
house.
this heat is unreal. Okay,
Yeah.
these are my last vegetables to press, and then we're gonna prepare the next batch of broth.
What's the leaf in there?
That's a bay leaf. It gives the broth flavor. Yeah, it's yummy.
What is some?
Yeah,
Why is there a white wood here?
okay.
No, right there. Well, I'm standing
And
there.
I really like to try to squeeze as much out as I can and get all of those micronutrients from the vegetables. Thanks, buddy. I love your hugs. Okay. And then I'm gonna stick this in the fridge so that the fat can rise to the top and solidify, and then I just repeat that process tomorrow. And for my next batch of broth, I'm gonna set that on the fridge. I'm gonna rinse this.
Mom, can I wash the dishes?
Okay. And now,
Mom, I want to wash the dishes.
what I'm gonna do,
Mom,
hey, Ian, okay. I'm gonna put my prior bones back in my pot. And a lot of people get kind of grossed out by the bones, but especially if they've still got good marrow on them. Once you really learn all of the nutrients that you can get and how yummy it is, it's one of the only things that always agrees with my system, and I'm really grateful for it. Okay, so all I gotta do, throw my bones in. I'm gonna throw in my bag of prepped veggies. And in here I've got, you'll see I've got kale, parsley, carrots, celery, onion, and I think that's it. I like to add in leeks too, but like I said earlier, they've just been really pricey. So I have been omitting the leeks. Now, once I've got my veggies and my bones.
What are leeks?
It's a vegetable, buddy. It's a yummy vegetable.
Do I?
I'm gonna add my water in. And typically, I've got one of the big 8-quart, I believe, Instant Pots. And so I can fit a gallon of water in this thing. And so I'm gonna pour a gallon of filtered water in. And then I'm going to add in, here, watch out, buddy, apple cider vinegar to help the bones break down. And I put a decent amount in there. Gives it a pretty nice flavor too. No, I don't need that. Some olive oil for fat. And I don't measure it real particularly. I'm gonna put in a sprinkle of bay leaves. I also not real particular.
Do you put this in?
I do. I'm gonna put a sprinkle of pepper in. And about half a tablespoon of salt. Ish. And garlic, which, come on, we all measure garlic with the heart. So, just dump that on in.
Hey, come on.
It is time to get more minced garlic. And from here, I just top it off with my water.
I can see what it is funny.
And that's all there is to it. I'm gonna stick it in my Instant Pot and let it slow cook for 22 to 24 hours. And then the whole process just repeats over, and I do that for a week straight. And that usually gives me a month or more worth of broth.
I'm 5.
You are 5.
And my name's Ian. What's
Yeah.
yours?
And like I said earlier, I drink 2 big cups full of broth, water, and collagen every day, which helps me get 40 grams of my protein. I add in collagen peptides, which they've been going back and forth on their pricing lately, which has me frustrated. But I like this stuff a lot. It's the quality is pretty on par with Vital Proteins, which I think is one of the best brands on the market. But they're twice the price of this one, so I've liked this one quite a bit, and it's worked out well for my system. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate, and enjoy. If you have any questions about getting into broth making, shoot me a message. I'm always happy to chat about it. It's a bit of a passion thing for me. And have a great day, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye. See ya.